Hey, what's up everybody? David the Pro Solo Flipper here. Today I'm just going to put together a video about how I source from garage sales, so yard sales, estate sales, etc. To sell stuff on eBay. I am a full-time seller on eBay. If you are just seeing me for the first time, I share a lot on Instagram too at the same account, Pro Solo Flipper. There, so follow me there if you're interested. If you saw my last video, a I did it on sourcing from auctions to sell on eBay, and so this is just going to be kind of a similar thing. It's kind of my method for how I plan for and hit garage sales on the weekends. Um, I'll just say that this is just the way I do it. So take it for what it is. It may be different from what you do or other sellers do. It may be better or worse, but this is just how I do it, and it's definitely just better than getting up and going and winging it, because what happens, I think, is you end up wasting a lot of time and you end up hitting things too late and whatever. So anyway, I'll just get down to it and kind of tell you how I plan for garage sales and then how I hit them, for trying to get the best amount of stuff at the and the most amount of stuff, I suppose. So what I do is, and it's gonna vary too for depending on where you live. So I live in Idaho. It's a smaller area. I grew up in California, but I'm in Idaho now. I've been in Idaho for 20 years or so, and I know it's not going to compare to some of those bigger cities that just all the time have tons and tons of garage sales. So our season here is fairly short. It only lasts. It starts kind of in Mayish sometimes. I mean, it really gets going. I mean, there might be one or two here or there before that. Um, but we're in April and it can still snow in April. I mean, that happens. So typically they don't start till really until kids get out of school almost. So like the end of May or so, and they're usually done by the end of August. So it's a short season here. It's a little bit frustrating because I really enjoy garage sales. I'm sure most of you do too. It's a great way to get out and just get out and find some really good stuff for selling on eBay or Amazon or Poshmark or wherever it may be that you sell. So here, like I said, here we don't have as many as other areas. When it's full on garage sale season, we might have 30 or 40 garage sales in a day that are in our town. So I don't know how that compares to where you are, but a lot of the times during the garage sale season, there's only maybe 15 garage sales on a day. So first off, I will only hit garage sales if they're the first day, unless it just happens to be so convenient that I stop and maybe they've advertised that they'll have new stuff on the second day. But here, garage sales are on Fridays and Saturdays, not on Saturdays and Sundays, which is good for me as a full-time seller because I can hit those Friday garage sales now. It used to be pretty frustrating to have to go to work missing all those Friday morning garage sales. Here, I would say almost Fridays are almost bigger than Saturdays. So I guess there's a lot of people who don't work on Fridays who can put on garage sales, and there's a lot of stay-at-home moms who put on garage sales on Fridays. So what I will do is I will look around and see where the garage sales are. So here they advertise on Craigslist, they advertise on Facebook, and that's the majority of it. A little bit on Craigslist. Did I already say that? Craigslist and Facebook, yes. And then a little bit on in the newspaper, online newspaper, which hardly anybody does anymore. And I don't even understand why they do, because it costs a fortune to place an ad there. And Craigslist and Facebook are free, and more people use it. So anyway, I'll check there. Maybe you get one or two more garage sales, and they tend to be like the older people who aren't aware that they should be advertising on Craigslist or Facebook. So anyway, Facebook group sites pages are good, and Facebook Marketplace, both will advertise garage sales, and then Craigslist is pretty easy to look up too. So what I will do is, if I see it on Facebook, I'm always kind of a couple times a day looking on Facebook Marketplace or anyway for deals to pick up to sell. And so if I see a garage sale ad, I'll just screenshot it, and I'll do that during the week. If I happen to see one, I'll just screenshot it. And then when it comes down to Thursday or Friday, what I'll do is I'll start making a list of garage sales that are coming up this weekend for Friday and Saturday, or even Sunday if there happens to be a few, but that's just rare around here. Anyway, and then what I'll do is I'll actually start writing them down. So I'll show you. I just kind of made up a hypothetical example with only a few garage sales on here, just so I can just show you what it is that I do. So I'll just have a sheet here that says this, for example, this one says Saturday garage sales, and I'll have the date on there. And that's important because I end up using this sheet for tax purposes, and I'll show you that what I do with this at the end. Or towards the end of this video. But basically, I'll have a start time. So if you can see 8 a.m., 9 a.m., down here I'll have 10 a.m. Whatever start times there are, I'll put them on this page and start listing the garage sales. And that's all I'll do for a while. And maybe they'll end up with 20 or 25 on here. Right now, I just put 5 on here just so I can show you for this example. I will just list them and the times. And then the next step that I do is I create like a grid sheet where I'm going to kind of map out all these garage sales. You can make the squares smaller or bigger, however many you need. And like I said, you may not like this idea, but this works for me. So I'm just going to show you what I do. Take it or leave it. There's other things you can use too. There's garage selling apps and stuff. That doesn't really work here because it doesn't pick up any of the garage sales that people are advertising. I don't know how it works in bigger cities. I've seen people share their screenshot of their app, and there's just like 100 garage sales on there. When I try to use that app, it just shows like 1 garage sale. So I don't know how they're picking them up or where they're picking them up from, but it doesn't work in my area. So this works for me, and plus having this sheet helps me at, for tax time. Not even for tax time, but if I ever get audited, this will be my proof of my purchases. This basically is all I use. So anyway, so I start out with this sheet with my list of garage sales, and from this sheet I create this sheet. I just put grids across, and then I will put up here like the earliest start time. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'm in the way. 8 a.m. Anyway, I will just do each garage sale. I'll write the address at the top, and then what I do for the mapping is, if I know where they are, I'll just quickly map out like a main street that I know, and then a cross street that gets me to it. If I don't know the address, I'll get on Google Maps and I'll just do the same thing. Just something that helps me identify where it is. So I know how to get to it basically off of maybe 2 or 3 streets. And then I'll do that for all of them, so however many there is. And then I will sit down and take a few minutes, and this is the really important part, is I will order what the order is I'm going to go to them. So if you can see on there, I wrote on here 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets a lot more complex if you have like 25, 35 of them. But the point is that you number them in the order that it makes sense to get to them the fastest, and starting where you can get to the earliest one. And it saves you a lot of time and a lot of confusion as you're going to garage sales, because you pick up your sheet, you look at, okay, I'm going to this one first. Then you go to it. As soon as you're done, you hop in and look for number 2, and you see where you're going, and you just start heading there. You don't have to figure out how to get there. You don't have to figure out which one you're going to next. It makes your time much more efficient. And honestly, it probably cuts my time at least by a third, if not a half, just because I'm not driving more than I need to, and I'm not taking the time to figure out how to get to places or figure out which one I need to get to next. So this helps tremendously. It might take a little time up front, but it will save you much more time once you're out there garage selling. And maybe some of you don't want to be this, detailed or whatever, or structured. That's fine. Just go out and have fun, right? But I'm very confident that I do better garage sales when I do this. I get to them sooner. I get better stuff, and save time, right? So, and then on this sheet, what I do with this sheet, I'll just go ahead and tell you now, is so I can be done with these sheets. Is if I spend some money at this garage sale, I will just write next to it the total amount. So I will take both these sheets with me garage selling, and if I spend $34 at a garage sale, I will write that down right next to it. And then at the end of the day, I will just total up everything I've spent. And let's just say I spent $252. I'll put that at the bottom and with a big circle around it. I will put that $250 in my spreadsheet. If you see my video about my spreadsheet, I use it to track all my numbers. I just put my number in there for inventory purchases for that day, $252 garage sale. That's all I do for garage sales. I really don't think you're going to need to do any more than that. If you ever get audited, I think they'll probably be satisfied with that. I'm not going to go around and have people sign receipts for everything I buy. I think that's kind of crazy and not realistic. So this is the way I do it. And I put it in there with my inventory on my inventory tab in my spreadsheet, same as I would as if I go to the thrift store. All I do is enter my receipt total for each thrift store, and that's how I track my inventory purchases. So that's how I do it with the papers. As far as general tips for garage selling, you might want to prioritize if they talk about certain things that that you are interested in, or you can do well with on eBay. You might want to prioritize those, going to those first when you're considering your order for going on the map. If you see pictures of stuff, of certain things you want, same thing, you might want to prioritize going to those first. I even take into consideration when they say early birds welcome or no early birds please, which means they don't want people getting there beforehand. I try to respect that. There are a few people in my area, and I'm sure there are a few people in every area who don't respect that kind of stuff and will show up an hour before a garage sale starts, or an hour and a half before, or the day before. I've heard of people doing all kinds of stuff, and they're super aggressive, and maybe that works for them in some cases. But I just don't. I'm just not that guy. I just want to. I'm not here to kind of irritate everybody in my town and have people see me later and be like, oh, there's that guy. He's super obnoxious and kind of rude and pushy. I'm just not that person. So at best, I will maybe show up to a garage sale 15 minutes before they start, and I will sit in the car and only come out if it looks like they're ready, or if somebody else is already looking. I won't be that guy who shows up. But that being said, getting there earlier at the start or a few minutes before is important. The more you can hit the garage sale at the start, the better, because that's when all the good stuff is getting snatched up. So when I'm hitting garage sales, this is how I do it. I'll pick the best one, or whatever makes sense where I want to start. I will get there probably 15 minutes early, and as soon as I can look, I will. I won't, like I said, I'm not going to go up and knock on the door. If they're still bringing a ton of stuff out, like if they don't look like they're ready, I don't get out. And if somebody else shows up and starts looking, then I will get out too. But I'm not that pushy. So, and then from there I move fast. So I quickly look through everything. Oftentimes at garage sales, I'm relying on my previous knowledge, because I don't want to take the time to look stuff up while I'm there, because I feel like it's going to take too much time and make you miss out on stuff at the next garage sale. So I will look up some stuff, and I try to do it discreetly, not like right in front of the people. I will say generally I don't let people know what I'm doing. I just try to keep to myself, and I don't make tons of conversation. I just try to pick up as much as I can. Generally, I don't like to talk people down on their prices or bargain with them. That's not something I really enjoy. What I'd much rather do is just get it for a good price and say I'll take it and move on. That way they're happy and I'm happy, right? But that doesn't mean I won't make offers. But if they're asking $5 for something I know I can sell for $100, come on, I'm not going to talk them down to $2.50 or $3. Just take the deal and move on. But if they're asking if they're asking $10, and it's something I think I could only make a little bit of money off of, maybe I'll offer them less. I don't know. Or sometimes I will bundle stuff together and make them an offer that way. I feel better about making offers that way. That's a great way to do things sometimes, is just grab a bunch of things and then say, hey, well, you take $50 for everything. Most of the time, if it's a reasonable offer, they'll take it. Not always, but most of the time. So basically, you just want to move fast. So I've tried to take people with me garage selling, and I don't know that they really enjoy it, because sometimes I might be at a garage sale for 30 seconds. Like once I walk and if I do like a circle around their stuff and I don't see anything, I'm back in the car, moving on to the next one. But yeah, you want to get there as fast as you can, and move through them fast. I mean, I'm not saying don't look at everything, but the faster you can move, the better, right? So I don't know what other tips I have for you. I basically just wanted to kind of show you the system that I do. Is that it's just about saving time, really. As far as like bargaining goes, I mean, I definitely recommend, bargaining if you want. I feel like people that really bargain every time, I mean, they probably do better, financially, whatever, however you want to make more profit. I just don't want to be that guy who's always like annoying people. And, I live in a small town, and so I see people all the time. I just don't want to have that reputation as somebody who's always, I want people, I want to leave feeling I got a great deal and them feeling like they, got a good deal too. So that's just how I work. But anyway, if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know below. I read all the comments and I'll respond to them. Yeah, follow me on Instagram if you want to. Pro Solo Flipper there too. So garage sale season is about to start up here. Hopefully pretty soon. I mean, we're in April, so we're still really about a month away, but doesn't mean they might start popping up a couple here or there when the weather's nice. But I'm really looking forward. It's one of the funnest times to be a reseller, in my opinion. If you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend it. You can get some great deals with huge profits at garage sales and estate sales. It's the same thing. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.